please, don't try anything you're about to see us do at home. Ever.
On this episode of MythBusters, it's the coolest show on record as the team heads to the high country to blast a blizzard of legends in their first snow special. Awesome! For starters, Jamie and Adam literally try to move a mountain as they attempt to summon up a thunderous avalanche with an alpine song, a bullwhip, and some rapid fire. Then, in a probing investigation, our trio finds out if there's any idea dumber than licking a frozen pole.
Hey, look, it's starting to rip the flesh.
And test if it's safer to drive on icy roads backwards.
Are you trying to see how many cones you can knock over?
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage.
Ow, 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 ow.
And Jamie Heineman.
It's almost too exciting.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
Cue dramatic music.
Joining them, Carrie Byron, Grant Imahara,
Listen to that baby purr.
and Tori Belleci.
Paramedics are nowhere to be found.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test. Gather around the hot tub, folks. It's going to be glacial.
So what's the myth?
Well, we are dressed for cold weather, and that's good because we're going to test whether or not you can start an avalanche by yodeling. So it's time to get those vocal cords ready.
You think I can yodel?
I know you can.
You think I'm gonna yodel?
No, I don't.
This alpine myth is as old as the hills. Can this beloved form of melodious mountain song set off a mighty avalanche? The idea isn't as nonsensical as it sounds. In previous audio experiments, the guys proved that sound waves from the human voice are powerful enough to shatter glass and even extinguish a flame. Now, using the same notion in this ultimate auditory myth, we're going to try to bring a mountain to its knees.
You know, if we're doing myths on avalanches, we need to go to the mountains.
I think you're right. I think we will. But first, why don't we try some scale experiments here in the shop, see what we can learn about them before we go.
Sure, why not?
Before heading out, Adam makes a mountain by building a fiberboard tray and attaches it to a tiltable stand.
Instead of making a mountain shape, we've gone with a flat plane to eliminate the variables of the topography of the mountain.
They've got their mountain, now they need some winter weather. The guys secure a wooden frame to the scissor lift and staple a sheet of fly screen to the base. A couple of small pancake motors mounted on the corners will really get things shaking.
Ah, that's great.
Next, they spread a thick layer of flour over the mesh.
The screen is hopefully going to snow down our flour in a really nice, even fashion. And then, let's see if we can't start an avalanche here in the shop in scale. Okay, here we go.
They raise their giant sifter to the sky.
We're gonna have flour everywhere.
And let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
You could use this for rolling out dough and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
In mountainous regions, the most common and destructive kind of avalanche is called a slab avalanche, when a strong, cohesive layer of snow forms on top of weak snow. All it needs is a trigger to break loose. So it's crucial for Adam and Jamie to get their scale test poised at the most precarious point possible.
135, 36.
As the flour slowly builds up, they wait and watch for the exact point it all comes tumbling down.
316, 320.
So I'm gonna kill it at 330. Oh.
It went at exactly 320.
Now that they've got the trigger point timed right on the verge, Jamie grooms the run. They recoat the slope.
316, 320.
Kill it?
Okay.
And are ready to make some noise.
I think it's really hair trigger.
Okay.
Okay, let me give you the decibel meter. So start out at 60, and if I go higher than that, just start dialing it up.
Adam may not be a professional yodeler,
I'm gonna yodel at a soft volume and slowly build up.
but who doesn't know and love such movie classics as Heidi and the Sound of Music? His strange warble wouldn't have startled a mountain goat.
That was 90.
That's giving me a headache.
Okay,
I
well.
can't imagine what it's doing to you.
Well, it definitely did nothing to the snow.
All right, well, that's about as loud as I can get. I think it's time to go to the megaphone.
Okay.
A megaphone should take this scale test to the max.
Is Was it off the charts?
Yeah, that was maxing it out at 120.
120, that's like as loud as a jet engine, right?
Not quite.
Not quite. All right, let's try this again.
Aiming the megaphone toward a different part of the mountain might hit the right note.
Oh! That is a result.
That was a hair trigger, and it went. It went with sound from your voice.
Oodalay-hee-hoo. This alpine tale may just be true. So grab your polarized designer shades because the MythBusters are headed into avalanche country.
So we can't do the snow special without at least trying the I double dog dare you to stick your tongue to that frozen flagpole myth.
I know that one. That's the one where you stick your tongue to the pole and it gets frozen in place.
Who's gonna do that?
If you've ever heard of this human predilection for frosty flagpoles, once your tongue makes contact with a metal mast, you're stuck. First, they have to fill this MythBusters spit tube with real saliva.
Get on the outside.
Collecting enough is going to be a team effort. So Carrie lays down some spit etiquette.
Okay, guys, I'm going to set a few ground rules because this is a disgusting experiment as it is. Please don't add your phlegm, known as the loogie. I'm serious.
Meanwhile, Grant is boiling up an idea to warm up their human tongue analog, a pig's.
My job is to reanimate the tongue and make it warm, just like our tongues would be, hopefully to body temperature.
He connects a thin plastic tube to a small electric motor and places it inside a bucket that's filled with hot water.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That's really good.
Now for some porcine surgery. After cutting the tongue in half, Grant carefully cuts a U-shaped incision around it, fits the tubing into the groove, then sews it back up again.
No one 11 now.
It's a good thing he never went into plastics.
Just like sewing on a button, except this button's tongue-shaped and made out of meat.
Next, he takes a reading of his own tongue's temperature.
Okay, 90 on the nose. So, that's my target.
And turns on the pump.
Okay, hot water, flowing.
After 30 minutes, Frankentongue is awakened.
It's perfect. 8.5. That's close enough for our purposes. I think the tongue is ready for some pole-licking action.
And in a MythBusters first, the guys head deep into snow country to coax a mountain to crumble. The quirky trill of yodeling has been known to trigger headaches. But how about avalanches? In a small-scale test, Janie and Adam found that sound waves from the human voice could trigger flour to fall down a chipboard slope. But that was just kid stuff. Now the guys are headed into the territory of what flies without wings, hits without hands, and sees without eyes. The fearsome white dragon, also known as the avalanche.
We've come to Colorado to the Telluride Ski Resort, where we're going to work with their avalanche team to start real avalanches and see what actually happens.
Here in this breathtaking yet harsh terrain, Janie feels right at home.
I've spent weeks at a time out here in this kind of terrain by myself, living off the land up here, trudging around in snow, living in snow caves, digging food out of the ground. I got to say, though, it's good to be back. It's quite lovely.
We're very lucky out here in the wild. We've seen a Heinemann in his natural habitat. Let's be quiet, they scare very easily.
To conduct our tests, the Safety Division of the Telluride Ski Patrol has determined a specific mountain site that's a real-life avalanche risk.
How do you know when these conditions are right for an avalanche?
Well, we go out and we dig snow pits. And we actually stick our head in the snow and look at the structure of the snowpack. And then we also calculate out how much new stress has been added to the snowpack.
Because Greg knows all the signs of a mountain on the brink, we're shooting a safe distance from public ski areas. Now, to put the yodel myth to the test, Adam's amateur vocal acrobatics won't cut it. So,
To help us, we've brought in a professional yodeler. Liz, come on in.
Yodelay! Howdy.
How are you?
Great.
Have you ever heard of yodeling being dangerous, like in an avalanche situation?
Well, sure. I used to ski in Vail and backcountry skiing. We were cautioned not to go yodeling in the mountains.
Really?
Sure.
And what is it about yodeling that you think will set off an avalanche?
It's a certain frequency, and if you can hit it just right and the conditions are perfect, you could start an avalanche.
Liz has been known to shake things up before.
When I get a certain pitch and a certain volume, I can feel my crown in my tooth sort of rattle. It's quite a sensation.
If anything does start to happen, we're all going to bolt in this direction.
That way?
Yeah, we've been advised that the avalanche would come down in this way, so a couple hundred yards this way should make us safe.
All right.
Yodeling is a rapid undulation of vocal tones that moves from low chest tones to high falsetto. But as Liz's song reverberates around the mountain, delightful as it is, it remains unmoved.
Well, that was lovely. And I don't see any avalanche.
Well, not yet.
What do you think, Jamie?
No avalanche.
A bullhorn might magnify her vocal exertions enough to cause a reaction.
We've got a police bullhorn here, Liz, to help you out.
Wow.
I'm going to set it on 11. Hold onto the trigger when you're ready to go, and give it all you got. Let's go.
But her startling call of the wild stirs up nothing.
Something tells me some animal might want to come out of the woods and mate with us. I'm not sure that we're starting an avalanche.
It was a tough crowd to play to, so it's not surprising.
I think that one's busted. Liz, thank you so
I gave it
much
my
for
best.
helping us out.
I gave it my best.
Absolutely.
With the mountains still officially deemed to be in the avalanche zone, Adam rustles up another idea.
I brought out my 11-foot bullwhip. This thing breaks the sound barrier.
When cracked, the thin, flexible tips of whips move faster than the speed of sound, creating a sonic boom.
There we go. That's the mountain I'm trying to bring down.
Sonic booms generate enormous amounts of sound energy, a lot like an explosion.
You see anything?
No avalanche.
Adam whips it good, but the mountain doesn't flinch.
I don't think I'm going to start an avalanche with this dude.
Nope.
Let's move on to the next thing.
Okay.
But strap on your rescue beacons. This mountain is ready to roll, and we're going to have a blast. Is it true that the best way to bond with a frozen pole is to lick it? To find out, Carrie's been in charge of collecting copious amounts of real saliva. But the job is literally giving her the dry heave. Before she loses her lunch, let's move on.
Can we stop it here? It's probably good there.
In this giant refrigeration truck, driver Ron has delivered us one metal pole, nicely chilled to 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the freezing point of water.
Are you guys just dying to stick your tongue to it right now?
Absolutely not. It's freezing.
Time to set up Grant's pig-tongue warming device.
Sloppy tongue.
Sloppy tongue, my favorite.
First, they secure the organ to a stand next to the pole.
Oh, don't squeeze it too hard.
I know.
Man, that does look appetizing.
All right, it's at 85.
They slather the tongue with the drool,
Oh, nasty!
and it's time to lick that pole.
Do it! Oh, it's sticky! Stop! Okay. That's good. So at 32 degrees, your tongue will stick to a frozen pole. Dude, look, it's starting to rip the flesh.
Oh, man.
Chunks of the tongue are staying on the pole.
Ouch! The instant the tongue hit the pole, it fixed to it like glue.
That's cool. It was like, bah.
But the team hasn't got this myth licked yet. After the break, our sloppy tongue trio gets up close and personal with a metal mask.
Go for it.
And
Coming up on MythBusters.
Is this enough firepower to start an avalanche?
released into the wilds of Colorado, Jamie and Adam tried to extract an avalanche out of a mountain with an alpine song and a sound lashing, but to no avail.
So where do we go from here? What do we do now?
Machine guns.
Come on, really?
Well, there are tons of reported cases of avalanches being set off by combat. Now, to be honest, we don't really know whether it was due to machine guns or, mortar fire,
But we can find out.
Yeah, we need to check it out.
Excellent. I love this. Let's get out there with a machine gun and try this out.
Okay.
This combat concept isn't hit or miss. During World War I, avalanches were used as highly effective weapons. In the Italian Alps, tens of thousands of soldiers were killed by avalanches, often deliberately triggered by artillery. The question is, could a machine gun alone mobilize such a massive mass of snow? The theory is the sound waves created from the machine gun's firing, combined with the physical impact of the bullets, is a double whammy of force that can break the snowpack apart. The MythBusters target is a mountain that's been ascertained by a team of experts to be poised on the threshold of an avalanche. It's not every day you get to witness one of these devastating natural occurrences firsthand.
We'll see you under the mountain, buddy.
So say hello and bye-bye to our Buster stand-in. His role is to help the guys uncover what would happen to a human swept up in an avalanche. So they haul him high up on the hill, smack in the middle of the predicted snowpath.
This tiny speck of dust up there is our Buster stand-in. He's hopefully going to help us figure out what happens to a person in an avalanche.
Officer Dan Kovault has brought MP5 submachine guns. Operating at a high velocity and rate of fire, triggering these might just trigger an avalanche.
That's pretty clear to me.
When you're comfortable, drop your charging handle.
Okay.
Both the guys are licensed and trained to use firearms.
Putting it on full auto.
Adam takes aim. But the mountain doesn't fall.
No avalanche.
Nope, no avalanche.
So they double the firepower.
Firing in 3, 2, 1.
But even though the sound was louder than the yodeling and the whip, and there were projectiles striking the snow,
No avalanche.
No avalanche, man. No avalanche. Not even a hint of an avalanche.
We fired off a whole bunch of rounds at this hillside. What exactly the state of an avalanche is at any given moment, whether it's on a hair trigger itself and about ready to go, and whether one of these guns would set it off, it's hard to say.
Hey, want to see us fire an air cannon into a snowbank to cause an avalanche?
Log on to discovery.com/MythBusters. It's cool.
Carrie, Tori, and Grant discovered that there aren't many ideas as dumb or dumber than licking a frozen steel pole.
Chunks of the tongue are staying on the pole.
But to truly substantiate this sticky myth, someone in the team has to do it for real.
Dude, who's gonna be crazy enough to stick their tongue on one of these frozen poles?
Obviously, it's Rochambeau.
All right.
Rochambeau.
Have fun, buddy.
Rochambeau, it's off to Tahoe we go.
It's slippery.
With pristine snow covering the ground and a brisk wind blowing, the setting for this showdown is ideal. Tori's adversary, the flagpole, looks like one cool contender.
14 degrees.
He mentally prepares himself for his potentially painful task.
You know, I'm about to stick my tongue to a frozen pole. The thing I need to remember is just to stay calm and not pull away.
I actually heard one of the ways that you can't get your tongue off if you're stuck and you're all alone and so you're out in the wild where there's a flagpole is that you can pee on it.
Cool. Who's gonna do that?
No, you have to do it yourself.
Oh, great. Okay.
Go for it.
The pole grabs Tori's tongue straight away and holds on tight.
We got stiction.
Diction?
Stiction. That's a word.
I know, it just sounds weird.
Grammar aside, stiction means myth confirmed.
All right. Confirmed.
Yeah. Let's go snowboarding.
Soon, we discover why snow chains were invented. And on the other side of the break, the Earth finally moves for Jamie and Adam.
Please, don't try anything that you're about to see us do at home. Ever.
Since we're doing all these snow myths, there's one myth that we came across that I'd like to try. And the idea is that it's better to drive in reverse on ice than to drive forward.
Backwards.
Yeah, does that sound crazy?
It's absolutely crazy.
Actually sounds like a lot of fun to test to me.
Let's do it!
The autos take to the ice. Anything for a laugh, a thrill, or a spill.
People have been going backwards and forwards about this wintry myth on the MythBusters fan site.
Smash and a crash, that's all part of the game.
The debate is when traveling on slippery, icy roads, you'll get better grip driving in reverse.
How are we going to test this?
Well, I think the whole idea behind this myth is that reverse gives you more traction. So maybe what we should do is a scale test, and we'll see which is better, reverse or forward.
Yeah, we actually have a front-wheel drive car here in the shop that we can use in our experiment.
Cool. Tori puts the scale test in gear by welding together two troughs made of steel. The troughs will represent the wheel tracks of an icy road. Next, he fills the containers with crushed ice. M7 is becoming a winter wonderland.
Yeah! You can't hide behind the sound, man.
They pack down the ice into solid blocks. Then Tori makes the surface extra smooth and hazardous.
Now what I'm doing is getting it wet, and then I'm gonna put the dry ice on top of that, and that'll freeze it, making just a solid block ice.
A car can only move if it can grip the ground, and that grip is called traction. If it has more traction, it can pull with more force. By chaining the car to a weight and attaching a force gauge, the team is going to measure which direction, forwards or backwards, the car has the most grip on the ice.
Mechanically, all of the factors are the same. Same weight distribution, the wheels are the same. All you're doing is isolating the gear, so the transmission.
Exactly.
Time to go for a spin. The car they're using is a front-wheel drive, the most popular choice in passenger vehicles.
You know, we're probably gonna rip off the bumper.
Oh, well, it's a company car. Take it away.
All right.
Okay, stop. That's interesting.
What did we get?
2,300 pounds.
Okay.
All right,
Great.
Let's
All right,
reset for driving in reverse.
For the driving in reverse test, the front of the car is chained to a forklift.
And if this works, if there's a difference in transmission, we should see more than 2,300 pounds before you start slipping. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's see what this car's made of.
Okay, good.
What do we get?
Oh! 3,200 pounds, almost 900 pounds more.
Dude, that's a great result. So driving in reverse actually does give you more traction than driving forward.
In reverse, the car was pulling with nearly 40% more force than going forward. So the driving on ice